Good morning. Michelle here with My Designs in the Chaos, where it's my goal to develop, encourage, and grow your crafting talent and confidence. If you are here, please say hello and let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. We are live today on day number 4, episode 4 of our daily dose of design, where I'm going live every single day for 30 days, giving you all kinds of tips, tricks, and helpful hints around SVG files and designing SVG files. So I'm really excited about today's question because this is probably the number one question I get. Number one by far. And so it comes to me from messages I've got via Facebook, emails I've received, comments, messages in my inbox, all kinds of different places. Hello, good morning, good morning. And so today's question is, where is the SVG file? I got an SVG file. I either downloaded it from you, I bought it from you, I've unzipped the file folder and I open it up and there's no SVG. Where is it? And so today I want to give you a couple helpful hints as a user of SVGs. How can you make sure to find the SVG in the file that you've downloaded, as well as a designer of SVGs? What are a couple things that you can do to help make it easier for the people who are going to be using your files? So I'm going to give you a little bit of tips and tricks for both. Now, I also have a request from you. If you find value in this video, or you find something helpful, or there's a tip that you're like, oh, that's really good, would you do me a favor and give this video a little bit of love, either in the form of a reaction or a share or a comment in the comments? That's really helpful for me to see, is this helpful information for you? So if you'll just give the video a little bit of love, as well as if you want these in your inbox every single day, I have put a link right up above that you can sign up and get these daily dose of designs in your inbox for you to be able to come back and reference at a future time as well. And they will also always be here on our page too. So feel free to connect with me like that as well. Okay, so let's dive into this question. Where is the SVG? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share a screen with you. And this is a screenshot of a file folder of mine that has a list of all the different file types that are included inside of a download. Now, the first glance, it looks like if I go through and I look at this, I see it has a PNG, it has a DXF. This one has two PNGs. One is a watermarked image. If you were to pull that name over, you could see it's watermarked. And then it has an EPS file as well. And then the very last one says Microsoft Edge. Now, actually, if I'm looking at this file folder at first glance, it feels like, where's the SVG? I got duped. There's no SVG. You might also see under type something like Chrome, or you might see Internet Explorer, or you might see some other internet file type right there. Well, here's the thing. The internet file type that says Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or something totally different, that version is actually the SVG. Now, the reason why it doesn't say type SVG is because of the way that our computers read internet files. And so unless we tell our computer that those internet files are SVG files that need to be opened with a certain program, and that's a whole different talk in and of itself, but we have to assign that file type to a certain thing on our computer in order for it to read it as that file type. Until we've done that, our computer is going to take a guess and it's going to say, okay, I think it should be this. It looks like it's an internet file, and it's going to assign what it knows, which is whatever your internet program. It could even look like Firefox, depending on what internet program you're using on your computer. And so that internet file is actually the SVG file that you want to be using to be able to access to your files and things. So a couple tips I have for you. So number one, so again, I'm just going to hide that image. Actually, let me make it big one more time so you can see. This is what inside the file folder looks like. You're going to look under type and it's going to say Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or anything like that. Then that file is the SVG. So a couple of things. Number one, if you're lost and you're like, I don't have an SVG in this download, where is it? So number one that you want to look for is look at the details or the type of file. Depending on if you're on a Windows computer or if you are on a Mac computer, it'll either say file type or it will say details. And that's where you want to look. If under details, it has some sort of internet thing like Internet Explorer or Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, that's your SVG file right there, even though it doesn't say SVG in the file type. Okay. And again, it comes back to we have to assign that. And that's a whole different lesson of how to go about doing that. But the short answer is that's your SVG. You don't have to do anything to it. You can upload that into your software. So that's number one. Look at the type or the details of the files to be able to distinguish which one of those is the SVG. Number two, the second way that you can determine have you uploaded the SVG. If you upload a file to your software and it is just an outline, that's probably a DXF file. If you upload it and you cannot ungroup the file, meaning it's just giving you like an option to do one flat layer, that's probably the PNG because PNGs are just totally flat. So oops, that's the wrong one as well. And so the SVG file, if you should be able to ungroup it and manipulate the elements around. Okay, so number one, look at the type or the details of the file type. Number two, if you can't ungroup it, red flag, you don't probably have the SVG. Now, I will say as a caveat, sometimes depending on the file type, designers can make the entire file in one compound path, which means you can't manipulate them unless you do a couple extra steps inside your software. So that could be it depending on the type of the design. But if you see a layered design and you can't get to those layers and ungroup it, you probably have the wrong file. So make sure that you double check if you can ungroup and manipulate it. And if not, try a different file from the file folder. And then the third tip I have is for those of you guys who are designers out there who are interested in designing or distributing your own files. One helpful thing that you can do for your audience and for your customers is you can actually add the letters SVG into the file name of the SVG file that's inside your file folder. Now, it's up to you if you want to include a DXF file, a PNG file, an EPS file. They all have different purposes, and we can talk about what all those purposes are on a different day. But if you want to include all of those in there, it's very helpful if in the file name, in the naming scheme that you give your file, you put the letters SVG. Now, in the naming scheme that I use, I always put MGC because my designs in the chaos. I just do that out of habit. But you can also add in like the letters SVG, and then that way too, it makes it a little easier for people to be able to see, because sometimes under that details or file type, it doesn't say SVG. It says Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. Okay, so those are some helpful tips for you. Number one, look at the file type for the details. The one that is the internet file, that's your SVG. Number two, if you can't ungroup the file, try a different file type. You might have the wrong one uploaded. And then number three, as a designer, a helpful tip that you can do to make it easier on somebody who's utilizing your files is write the letters SVG in the file name of the actual SVG file. So that way when they're looking through the list and they don't see SVG anywhere, they can see it in that file name and they'll know that that's the one that you can use. Okay, so that answers the question today. Where is the SVG and how can I find it? So hopefully, again, if you found this helpful, I would love it if you give this video a little bit of love. If you would like these in your inbox every single day, please make sure to connect with me at the link right up in details section of the post. I would love to be able to get to know you a little bit more. And if you have a question, make sure to send it over. I'm going to put my email right here. If you have a question that you would like to have featured inside the Daily Dose of Design series that we're doing, make sure to send over an email. We've gotten tons of great emails so far, and it's been really, really fun being able to answer your questions all about the Daily Dose of Design, all the things about designing SVG files. And Diane, I'm so glad that you found this helpful. And again, if any of you guys found this video helpful, I would love it if you gave it a little bit of love. So y'all have a great day, and I will see you back tomorrow with episode number 5. Bye, guys.